check your ego, amigo. Because in a situation like that, where you have to care for others, the ego is not allowed.
This is the Pass the Pitch podcast with Anna Frazzetto. Each episode, we sit down with bold thinkers and industry trailblazers to uncover the strategies, stories, and sparks of inspiration that drive growth and transformation. Let's get started.
Well, welcome to Pass the Pitch podcast. And what a great way for me to finish season 2 with two of my favorite people here. We have Lauren Jones. And Lauren, I love the way you describe that you're a staffing industry powerhouse, a workforce technology whiz, and a change management mastermind, a fierce female leader champion, a professional storyteller. I think, honestly, there should be a mic drop after that one.
Well, yeah, thank other people for writing that, because it's really hard for me to write, but thank Clear Edge Marketing, because I could not come up with that by myself.
Oh my God, it's absolutely fabulous. And of course, Rob Mann, looking at your LinkedIn, you talk about being a recruitment technology consultant. You're focused on all the fun things, digital transformation, including automation and AI. You create or curate content relevant to marketing, operations, and positivity in the staffing industry. So welcome, Rob. Well, since we have both of you, let's kind of like jump in and talk a little bit about leadership lessons. I love this subject because, first of all, we've all experienced things that don't work so great, but we've all had things that have impacted us significantly in our lives. So maybe, Lauren, I'll ask you first, what's the most unexpected leadership lesson you've learned, and how has it shaped the way you guide your team or the organization today?
Oh my, that, as you well know, my dear friend, is a very loaded question given 2024. And I'm writing about it in the upcoming book. But I will tell you the failure of the merge last year was probably one of the most profound of 30-year-long career, almost 30-year-long career. And not because it was a colossal failure, but because because I lead a team of people, I had to find the good from it, right? Yeah, I had to find what are the lessons learned, and I had to do it really quickly because I had people that felt uneasy and scared, and there's a lot of responsibility, right? And you're helping other people pay their mortgages and take care of their family, and so I think I felt a lot of pressure to learn the lesson really quick, get over myself and whatever ego I had in it. And I think that that's one of the biggest lessons, it's check your ego, amigo. Because in a situation like that, where you have to care for others, the ego is not allowed. Ego stands for easing greatness out, and easing greatness out in the good and the bad. And in the okay situations and in the bad situations, but coming out of it now that I have a lot of clarity around it, I think that there are some really valuable lessons, which I am going to write about in the book, but that I shared pretty immediately with my team. And one of those was unspoken expectations is the killer of all things. And all things good. Think about it in a personal relationship, right? A wife who expects flowers but has never ever communicated that she likes flowers, right, is always going to be set up for disappointment, and the husband's always going to be set up for failure, right? And so personal relationships and professional relationships alike, if there are expectations that you have of somebody else and they don't know it, you will ruin the relationship, and you'll ruin it very quickly. And so that was one. Authenticity. I think I just came out of it absolutely reaffirmed that I'm just going to apologize to nobody. A, I'm too friggin' old. But B, it's our superpower. my team and their uniqueness. I love every inch of them, the quirky, the frustrating, and the great, right? And because I come with imperfections. And so, it's got to be reciprocal. And then the other was listening to your gut. So there were three kind of really valuable lessons that I walked away from. Then the last one was trusting your gut. There were times along the way where I vocalized them to Rob, to my dearest and my inner circle, and I didn't listen to a single one. I just powered through and was like, "This is what I should be doing," um, because I thought it was the only way. And this is the final lesson: is that there is never just one way, ever. There is never just one singular way. And no matter how much you try and talk yourself that like, this is the only path, this is why I'm doing it, there is always another way. And so those were the three primary and then one bonus.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, talking about trusting your gut, I agree with you 110%. Every time I've gone against what that little inner voice is telling me, I always wind up regretting it afterwards for not,
Always.
trusting my instinct. Rob, I'm curious from your perspective what your thoughts are.
What Lauren learned last year along with me, or what my leadership lessons
Yeah,
are?
I mean, because he was on the journey with me, right? Like I dragged him all over, all over. I'm lucky he's still talking to me.
Yeah, I mean, I have no issue with you, but I was on paternity leave when all the insanity happened. So, yeah, that's like, I will say very clearly that I will never forgive nor ever do business with that person ever again.
Oh,
Just
wow.
very plainly, like they might as well be dead to me. So, because the amount of pain and suffering that I mentally went through and emotionally, not a joke. So that's that. Leadership wise, I don't think I think people need to realize like no one cares how much you know unless they know how much you care.
Mm. Oh, I love that.
I don't think
Write that
whether
one
it's
down, guys. Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah,
it's not mine. I mean,
exactly.
I didn't create that one. I just think I learned it when I was coaching high school. I kind of failed at it when I was leading a locums team for a little bit, but that's a different story. There's a lot of extenuating factors. But when I come into a space, try to make people know that like I care about them. I'm going to be myself. You're going to know very clearly how you stand with me. And I try to be very transparent. And I definitely agree with Lauren that like unspoken expectations need to be spoken.
Yeah.
And that leads to better outcomes, whether they want to hear it or not.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's easy or not, like you can deliver anything. You can deliver bad news well. You can deliver good news bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's just about how you approach it and how you deliver it.
I think that goes to kind of this bigger issue that we have just as a society right now, right? We are afraid of having these fierce conversations. And I think that's why, some of these relationships go sour, or expectations. Somebody's expecting something of you and you don't know it because it's not communicated, because they might be uncomfortable. And we've lost a little bit of our ability to have crucial conversations, the divisiveness politically that's out there. We should be able to engage in spirited conversation and walk away friends.
And still be friends, right?
Yeah.
Lauren and I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, yes, Pete. Rob and I do it all the time. We have in some instances polar opposite views. We probably have more in common, than we do apart. And that's what we try and focus on. But we love having spirited conversations where we disagree, because I want to know where he's coming from and vice versa. And again, we've sort of lost that ability. I was talking to my daughter, my youngest, because she's in law school, and they have to. You're going to law school, like you're going to school to learn how to argue.
PhD in reading and writing.
Yeah. And she's like, Mom, there are just some people that just like shut down when you don't agree with them. And yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And unfortunately, I hope we haven't gone too far down the path that we can't make it back to that point in time
I
where
think
we could have these conversations. Like, I'm
I think
hoping there's going to be a trend to kind of move back to where we were. But I agree with you, especially in business,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be able, you can't have everybody just agree with you, because then the business is not going to grow.
Correct. I want you to argue with me because my way is not always the best way, particularly as an owner, right? I need to listen to Rob. I need to listen to Aaron, and I need to listen to Maddie, um, and the rest of the team.
That's why like having a homogeneous like a work team is not always great, right? Like it's about having different opinions and and if you're selling a consumer good versus B2B, consumers are very diverse, right? And if you only have one person on the marketing team or one homogeneous group on a marketing team, how do you know how to market to all the other people,
Right.
right? Whether it's male, female, or like black, white, like it just doesn't make sense, because you have to be able to speak to all of them and just understand the nuances of it. And B2B, if you're selling, like, yeah, I mean, people buy things. The business doesn't buy it; the people buy it at the business. So you need to know how to connect.
Yeah. And let's kind of move on to the next topic, because I think it kind of feeds into what we're talking about now. Adaptability in business.
Mm.
So what's one time you or your team had to pivot quickly, and what made the shift either successful or not successful? Because I do think there's so many valuable lessons when something doesn't work out. And what advice would you give for trying to thrive in these unpredictable times?
Yeah, I said this in some recording that we were doing. If you're not trying, you're dying, right? I think you just if you're not trying, you're not evolving, and if you're not trying new things, you just sit in stagnation. And 2024 was tough, not just because of the merger, but it wasn't a great economy, and we had to. And this is what I tell firms all the time: is the difference between a successful firm and a not successful firm is usually agility. Can you be agile? Can you change with the times? Do you have a culture of change acceptance and change excitement? And, with as fast as technology is moving right now, particularly with emergence of AI, that's not going away. And if you are rigid, I just think you're set up for failure.
And that's such a valuable message there, Lauren, as far as being rigid. I just recently, actually on Monday, just had a conversation with an organization where they're talking about AI as if it was the Antichrist that's come to our planet. And and it's going to kill productivity. It's going to kill,
Oh, oh my.
everything. And it's quite the opposite. It's like this fear that's associated with it, which is like mind-boggling to me, why it's not viewed as a tool. And I know the three of us have had this conversation plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to joke, many lives, many hats over here. So as a yoga teacher, blessed are the flexible, they never get bent out of shape. Right? They kind of just keep moving, whatever uncomfortable or whatever comfortable or uncomfortable position they're in, they can just keep going. And it's kind of how business had to be, right? Like, and sometimes you're like, oh, there's a wall over there and I'm going to keep running into it. And that's silly. So why don't I figure out a way to go past it? Or like, I'm killing my margin on job board spend. Like, why can't I be flexible? I'm killing my margin on having 16 systems to run back office. Like, we could probably figure that out. Like there's we were talking to a prospect yesterday, and they're like, our team swivel chairs all the time, and they're in software, and we're like, and they know like that kills productivity, right? Like that's like swivel chairing your softwares. Like I talked to the recruiter and I put notes here, and then I have to enter all their information into the onboarding system. Then I have to enter all their information once they're onboarded into another system manually. Like it's such an easy thing to be like, well, you can keep doing it that way. That's fine. Or, at some point, scale or pain tolerance level, like you need to change.
Mhm.
So again, you can keep running into the wall, or you can be like, oh, I think there's a way over the wall if I just take 2 steps to the right and take the ladder, right? So sometimes it's like it's taking a step back to take the step forward. And I think with AI, it's confusing when people are afraid of AI,
Mhm.
because we've been like kind of getting acclimated to it in like pop culture for a long time,
Mhm.
right? Like say what you want about Terminator, but there's AI there. Like we kind of got like a chance, like, oh, it's thinking for itself. Like,
iRobot.
and then and now if you like sneeze, you'll see someone generating content with AI. Or like I like the idea of remixing of content, right? Like you could take this transcript and remix it into something, a blog post, the show notes for the podcast, like small clips. It's not gigantic. It's not like it's going to end the world. It's just going to save Anna or Rob or Lauren 45 minutes of listening to the podcast every time, trying to pull out the clips and then cutting them
Right.
and then post and then adding the the captioning. Like it's just saving us time and productivity. It's not like it's stuff that it's stuff that you could do that just eats time. So it's confusing when people are afraid of it, especially because again, you have been conditioned for it. Um, and if you didn't see it coming, we all live on the coast, but like there's no excuse for the middle of the country to not see, things coming, kind of joking, but like making a stereotype joke, but kind of, like there's other countries in the world. Anyway.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about personal branding and authenticity. How do you balance staying authentic while building your personal or organizational brand? And I have to say, what's one thing you think people get wrong about this? First of all, I have to make a comment. Lauren, I think you're a master at this. Fabulous LinkedIn presence, fabulous social media presence, watching you grow your business, watching you grow your followers. Like you did it right. And it's like, how do you capture that and be able to share with other people that are trying to start out?
I overthought this in 2024, right? And I really, really struggled with content. And I'm slowly coming back to it in 2025. And I've just promised myself that if I don't have anything to say of value, that I'm just not going to post. I'm not going to be I need to post every day, or I feel like I've got this really good base of 25,000 followers, which isn't a lot in the world, but you know if I'm going to say something, I want it to be something that is worthy of the people that are following. I feel like I have a duty to them. And I think from the authenticity perspective, um, I feel like I learned that lesson in my last corporate job. It is I've told this story before. I had a leader who really just dimmed my light, right? To make herself feel better. I can only assume. And so I, kind of felt like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz at the, black and white, because I kind of dumbed myself down to um, appease other people, and I was miserable. So I think if you're not authentic, you're not going to be happy. Number one. Number two, people can smell inauthenticity a mile away. Um, and nobody is happy all the time. It's horseshite.
I mean, that's why Ted and Michelle got divorced in Ted Lasso. So,
Right. Nobody's happy all the time. And
but Ted
so,
was.
and yeah. And yeah, the business, you see all of these influencers and they're on the beach and they're doing all these fancy things and they only work 4 hours a week. I'm sorry. That is poppycock. That is absolute hogwash. It's unrealistic. We bust our tails to make payroll, to do all of these things. And so anyway, I think I just feel I've seen so much inauthenticity. I've been forced to be inauthentic, and it's just gross. It's just
Well, it is. And you know what happens is then I think, I don't know if you experience this, Lauren, but I've seen it happen in other people where if you go down this path of not being authentic, to like keep it up is so hard because it's not real and it's not who you are, that then it's almost like you've created, I don't want to say a monster, but it's like you've created this entity that is not personal.
Well, it's a character, and it takes
yeah,
energy to
Right.
it takes energy to maintain a character, right?
Yeah. And now, I think I just am completely unafraid to say crowds make me nervous. And I have, I have extreme stage anxiety, and because other people do. And if I can do it, with those types of things, then it stands to reason that when other people see me do it or what have you, that I'm helping in some way, shape, or form. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who,
It's
feel like you
if
can't do it, just do it.
if if Lauren is gone at the happy hour at a conference, I'm usually saying she's probably tired of being around people. Give
Yeah,
her an hour.
I
She'll be
just
back.
give me an hour. I'll come back down. I always come back down, but sometimes I just need to go kind of gather my thoughts and, um, do a little breathing exercise and then come back down. It's kind of a sensory thing for me. And so yeah, sometimes I just.
Meanwhile, I'm just like,
And meanwhile, this guy will. I mean, the more people around that he's talking to, the happier he is, and so that we're a good compliment that way.
Well, that's great. That exactly. You complement each other that way. So it works really well. And you're staying true to yourselves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't make excuses about like Lauren needs space and likes quiet.
Right.
I'm ready to go work out or
Right.
go
No, that's
hang out
good.
all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about customer experience, because I know this is something that's important to all of us. What's your secret sauce for creating unforgettable customer experience? Can you share a time going above and beyond made all the difference?
I think the team at Leap really excels at that. As I get to work directly with them more this year, or the last like what is it? It's been almost been like 8 months. I I see what I see, Anna, is we advocate and care about the customer, and I think like sometimes it gets us in trouble with
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
or other businesses that are trying to do something, but we always go out of our way. We always deliver. Like I've seen above and beyond. I've seen fantastic relationships built, and I think you kind of deliver that by number one, always just doing what you say you're going to do. First and foremost, I don't think you can ever get away with that. Um, Doing it when you say you're going to do it, and then letting them know like, hey, and this was Lauren. How great was this yesterday? We'll always be in your corner.
Mhm.
Mm.
There was we're trying to figure out why this company named itself what it did, and it had to do with always having them in your corner, which is a fantastic reason to have a name, the way you did. And I think that whether it's a detriment to us or not, we're always in your corner.
Yeah. Yeah. We get a lot of guff because we don't take referral agreements, because we're an agnostic tool, right? And or we're an agnostic consulting agency, and we catch a lot of grief for that. But it's for the betterment of the customer, right? We can't be motivated by anything, and I am very black and white about that. And when money gets in the way, motivations change, and I just won't have it. But that's not always to our benefit. But it is to the benefit of the customer. And so we make decisions for the betterment of the customers that we work with. And I will say this, one of our first core values is we lead with empathy always. And I think a lot of people think that this is, like a consulting transaction, and we just don't look at it like that. When you've got a mom and pop shop that are finally to 20 million and they're going to invest in technology, I mean, that's coming out of their pocket. It's an emotional decision. I don't care who you are, what you say. If you're going to spend $250,000, you have an emotional investment in that.
Oh, sure.
And we believe wholeheartedly that there is emotion there. And so we want to make sure that we seek to understand before we seek to be understood. We want to make sure that we're advocating for the needs of the customer, but we also want to make sure that we're exceedingly honest with the customer, even if the information that we have to give is uncomfortable. And we're really good at having like icky conversations and making them not so icky.
The best way to build a relationship is to deliver bad news well.
Mhm.
whether it's with a candidate or with a customer or your client, right? Like if you can deliver bad news in a timely manner and in the right way, like there's no better way to start a relationship. So, or continue or build a relationship.
Well, I mean, transparency is key, right? So I think that's well said. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm just going to do some rapid fire questions, and each of you can answer what comes to mind.
The answer is bacon for whatever you're going to.
Wait, okay. Well,
Bacon.
maybe eating bacon is the answer. Okay, what's one small habit or routine that keeps you grounded during a chaotic work week?
Gratitude.
Love
The
that.
gym.
A gym. Okay.
The gym.
If you could teleport to one place for a quick brainstorming session, where would it be?
Ooh.
Somewhere on the coast, on the ocean.
Ocean.
I was going to say somewhere near a big waterfall to drown out all the other noise.
Yeah, very great answers. Mine is Taormina in Sicily.
We knew it was going to be Italy for you.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? Are you having Prosecco? Or are you having a Peroni? What's going on?
No, I'm having an Aperol Spritz.
Oh, you're fancy. And what are you eating? And what are you eating? And what cafe are you at? Like,
okay, we're not going to go down that path.
All right.
All right. So if you had to name your personal business anthem, what would it be?
Take the leap.
Ah, yeah.
You making up a song? Is that a song?
Yeah, sure.
When I need to get hyped up for something, so kind of hilarious. When I need to get hyped up for something, AWOL Nation Sail. Great focuser.
Cool.
Not a lot of words and a lot of intensity.
Yeah, a song. I mean, Rob knows my stage walking song is ridiculous.
Oh, what is it?
It's Big Pimpin'.
What is it?
I mean, she walks out in like a monochrome suit with like $1,000 pair of sneakers on. So she might as well be Serena Williams crip walking during the Super Bowl.
It's Big Pimpin' by the Linkin Park Jay-Z version.
Oh my goodness. No, I would have not picked that.
I know. It's ridiculous, but it gets in my head and yeah, I just love it.
Good. All right. What's the quirkiest productivity hack you swear by?
My little clock. I get hyper focused on something, right? And so sometimes I need to move on. And so this little, right, it starts the clock. And then I usually set it about 30 minutes at a time. This is my productivity superpower is my little clock. And just, if there's something that I don't want to do, and you've heard the eat your frogs first or what have you. If there is something you don't want to do it for 10 minutes, right? Like it's just, like going to the gym, like once you do the first 10 minutes, they're the worst and you just keep going. The same thing is with tasks you don't want to do, which is exactly what I was doing today. I set that clock. I knew it was going to take me 30 minutes and to do some tax stuff. And so I set the clock at 30 minutes because I did not want to do it. It's time consuming. It stresses me out.
Right.
And so, yeah, I live and die by my productivity clock timer.
I just get it done before 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. Do the things you want to do least in the morning.
Yeah, any busy work or anything that I need to do. I'm probably the most awake and focused at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So I just get it done. There's lots of times where I set emails to schedule to go out at like 9 a.m., but I've written them at like 5:15. And then people in the UK love me when they message me because they'll know I'll be up and they'll be like, da 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 da. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. for you, but it's 5 a.m. for me. I got this.
Yes. The hard part about that is by 8 p.m. My brain is wiped. Like,
yeah, you don't want to talk to me after 8.
Yeah. Me neither. You want somebody to go walk with at 5 a.m. I'm your girl. 4 a.m. I'm your girl. But after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
If you want to walk with me at 8 a.m. and you're not going to talk to me, right. But if you want to have an intelligent conversation, I'm probably not your person at 8 p.m.
But you're awake at least.
Not anymore. I mean, I have a 8-month-old, so if I can get into bed when she goes down for the night, I'm pretty happy.
All right, last question. Describe your leadership style in 3 emojis and explain them.
So I do the thinking one all the time.
Wow.
Actually, I can use Slack for this.
Yeah, I do the thinking one all the time. Because I am pretty pragmatic, right? So I'll do the thinking one all the
Yeah.
time. But we have fun. If you look at the emojis that go back and forth in our Slack channel, we always have the, rolling over laughing. I have fun. We do a lot of, solutioning and pontificating. So we're very thoughtful. I guess that's a good one.
Yeah.
And the other one that I use a lot here is the 100%.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
agreeable.
Right.
We're agreeable.
That's great. Rob, what about you?
So this is our leadership style.
Yeah.
That's such a good question.
Yeah, it is.
I try to be in the front, so I'm not going to make anyone do anything that I'm not going to do. So I'm sure there's one of like people walking together or doing something.
Yeah.
I definitely lead with a lot of compassion.
This is
So
true.
usually the blue heart or the green heart is a good
the
one.
blue heart. Yeah.
And then I would I like to shrug a lot and be like, well,
Oh,
kind of-
do you-
I do this one all the
Yeah.
time. We like to give
Yes.
praise. We like, the muscle one. We like to give praise over here. So
I like
Yeah.
that. Those are
a lot of the
great.
time it's just like we're just gonna keep going, figure it out.
Well, I hate to bring this to a wrap, but really, thank you guys. This has been fantastic. I can't wait for it to air, and I can't wait to have you both again. So thank you for being on Pass the Pitch.
thank you
Thanks
so
for
much
having
for having us, Anna. Appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to the Pass the Pitch podcast with Anna Frazzetto. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Season 3 of Pass the Pitch is coming. Join us for more real conversations with industry leaders on the lessons shaping the future of staffing and leadership. See you then.